Yo, what's up, my beautiful fans? It's Mikey here, and I'm very sorry for the late uploads. A lot of things that have been happening. I traveled, I got really sick. The elections will be happening shortly. So, a lot of things have been on my mind, plus school has started, so a lot of things have just been around. But to make up for the long time, I'll try and upload a little bit sooner, but if I don't, just know probably because of school or anything else. So today we're going to be reacting to a game, to Game Theory Doors. I'm not sure if any of you have played Doors, but if you have, we're going to be reacting to the lore. Let's get into it.
Alright, so let's see what horror games we have to theorize. Door number one. Not bad. Feels a bit overplayed. Still waiting for Chapter 3's release. What about door number two? Again, look, I promise the timeline's coming. It's just taking a bit longer than I anticipated. Spoiler alert, if your lore gets simpler, my theories get faster. Just a thought. Give me another week and we'll do it. Okay, make it a few more weeks and I'll do it. But right now, for this week, I just need something that's a little less complicated. Please say door number 3 has the answer. Now this I can work with. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, the show that loves the fact that both door and lore rhyme. And today we're gonna have a lot of both. I'm, of course, talking about the hit Roblox horror experience, Doors. It's a simple title which matches nicely with the simple premise. Each door is numbered sequentially, and your goal is to get through door number 100, hence the title. Not too hard, right? Wrong. Because while you go from room to room, you're being scared from a menagerie of evil entities that are trying to stop you from reaching that final door. Each entity.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I tried to play it once, but then the whole like I have a Wi-Fi problems. I tried to play it, but then Wi-Fi problems. The best I can say.
These tactics range wildly. One forces you into an elaborate chase sequence, another rushes through the current area, forcing you to hide, another will lock you out or kick you out of said hiding spots, and some are just there for the good old-fashioned spooks. Oh my god!
Screech.
This game really has it all. Good scares, good strategy, good puzzles, but of course it wouldn't be a true game theory horror experience without the secret ingredient, good lore! That's right, a game about walking through doors in a randomly generated hotel has got itself some lore. The developers have actually said the foundations of the story are basically in there already. They're just gonna be revealing it slowly with each new update, which of course immediately got my attention. So I waited patiently for the Hotel Plus update that was due to come out in December, and then the update got delayed. Now, we've all seen our fair share of unpolished games and broken updates in the last few years, so if the update needs more time in the oven, then by all means, devs, take the time that you need. But in lieu of this Hotel Plus update, allow me to scratch that door lore itch, because in preparation for the update, I started digging into the game that we already had, plus the teaser, trailers, and screenshots that the devs have given us. And I think I've got it figured out. The devs weren't wrong. The lore is absolutely there. It's just hidden deep, real deep, almost as deep as wherever we're gonna end up in Floor 2 update. So pack your bags, theorists, because we've got a one-way trip through history, magic, and a classic battle between good and evil. Let's check in. First of all, where are we? Obviously, it's a hotel, but it's not really normal. And I'm not talking about the randomized layout. At first glance, it might trick you into thinking it's normal, with a reception desk, bedrooms, hallways. Sure, the furniture reads a little old, probably from around the 1940s or 50s, but on the whole, it's pretty standard stuff. Sure, one of the new teased images does look a little bit strange, stone walls and big barrels, but it's most likely designed to be a wine cellar, which wouldn't be unheard of for a hotel, especially as Prohibition ended in 1933 in the US, thereby allowing establishments like hotels to serve alcohol to customers. What's really odd is the second teased image. It's a large room filled with beds from end to end.
Alright, let me just quickly ask this question. Would you want to go to this hotel? Like, would you think that you could survive at least one night in this hotel? Like, one night only? If you can survive more than that, or if you can't even survive at all, just put it down in the comments below.
Maybe the hotel's able to offer cheaper rates if you're willing to bunk with 10 other people in the same room, except that isn't what the room's for. Along with the image, we were given its name, the infirmary. Why on earth would there be an infirmary in a hotel? I'll tell you why. It's because that's exactly what hotels were used for during the 1940s, especially during World War II. During the war, the country was in need of more hospitals for fairly obvious reasons, but they didn't want to have to build a bunch of new hospitals that would then become useless at the end of the war. So instead...
That's true. That's true, though. I don't understand why hospitals today don't at least have hospital rooms. I think some hotels do have places to have like pharmacies inside, but they don't actually have like a hospital. Like, what if you have like a heart attack or a broken leg inside of the hospital and you're alone? All you could do is call the number, and all they could manage to do is like um call 911. Like, what if you need? What if you just? What if it's really brutal, blood loss? I don't understand why they're not doing it today. Like there could be so many uses for it. But I would add up to the mystery of the lore of this game. But it's just a game, you know. But either way, it's pretty interesting.
They started working with private businesses to turn their establishments into makeshift hospitals, and hotels were candidate number one for this sort of thing. They had lots of elevators to transport patients and equipment. They had lots of rooms for people to stay in. And best of all, because of the war, people weren't traveling or going on vacation, so the hotels were largely going unused. So while it seems weird to see an infirmary in a hotel, it's actually not outside the realm of possibility. That, plus the 40s style of furniture, tells us that what we're exploring here is a haunted hotel that was an active hospital during World War II. And given the
I mean, it doesn't make sense though.
monsters roam the hallways and the damage that we see across various rooms, it's unlikely that anyone has occupied this place since. So then, why are we here now? It's not exactly the 5-star establishment anyone would be.
Alright, let me just tell you my reason why we're here. My best assumption is that we're a group of kids that got tricked or decided to come here for some kind of stupid TikTok or whatever. Either that or some kind of business person coming into the hotel to see it, to check around to see if maybe they could destroy it for profits or turn it into an actual working for hotel again.
Expecting for their weekend getaway, but
those
even
are
if
just
we wanted
my
to check out, we can't turn back. And I do mean that literally. If you take a look at the bridge that we crossed to get here, you'll see that it's now broken, with planks of wood just floating around in midair. Whatever's in this hotel, it doesn't want us to leave. But here's the real twist, we don't want to leave either. If you die during your playthrough, you'll be shown.
You see, that could add up to my theory that we're a bunch of teenagers, but I think they unravel the lore here. Either way.
Screen depending on what entity you died to. These death screens are mostly there to give us hints, telling us how to avoid dying to the same entity again. However, the way these hints are phrased can be pretty darn interesting. Most of the time it just says, you died to whatever entity, but sometimes it rephrases it slightly. You died to who you call Halt. You died to who you call Ambush. You died to who you call the Figure. These entities don't have names, or at least none that we know of. The names that we're calling them are names that have been given to them by us, something that one of the devs confirmed on Twitter. What's also interesting is that these versions of the death messages occur during your first death to these entities, which means that we already have names for them before we've ever encountered them. Apparently, we already know about them and the hotel before we've ever stepped foot in here. But how can that be? Well, for that, we actually have to look at the game's history. During the development for Doors, before the entities were called entities, there was a different name being considered cryptids. Cryptids are creatures that some believe exist, but have never truly been proven to exist by modern science. Think things like the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot. If these entities were originally going to be called cryptids, and the names we refer to them as were given to them by us, the player, then we must be someone interested in them specifically, also known as a cryptozoologist. And no, that's not just someone who works for Logan Paul's recent NFT scam. A cryptozoologist is someone that studies the pseudoscience of cryptids and commits themselves to proving their existence. And who wouldn't want to trust a guy dressed like this? We didn't come here for a nice weekend getaway, friends. We are here because we know about these entities and we want to learn more. We may have bitten off more than we can chew. Not only are the entities very real, but they're powerful, scary, and above all, deadly. That is, except for one. Remember those death messages that I mentioned? The ones that are giving you tips and tricks on how to survive the hotel? Well, those aren't just meta messages from the developers, they're actually coming from another entity. While it might not be immediately obvious what entity it is, as you go through the game, you'll occasionally see blue sparkles show up around the map. They're normally around to show you the correct path during the seek chase, to show you which paintings belong in which positions during the painting puzzles, or to help illuminate the exit in a dark room. A guiding light, if you will. Which is funny, because the title of the music that plays during those death screens is also called guiding light. This has led the community to give this mysterious bodiless entity that name, although I'm not entirely convinced that this entity is completely formless. While the majority of the rooms and doors are typical hotel rooms, there's a chance for special rooms to spawn instead. One of those rooms is called the courtyard, and it's unusual because it's the only time we're able to actually go outside, feel the wind in our hair, the rain on our skin, and then remember that we're still trapped
And to touch grass. Yeah.
and have nowhere to go but forward. Existential crises aside, this room is pretty much regarded as a safe zone during the run, which starts to make a lot of sense as you explore the area. Looking around, you'll find a large statue of an angelic figure with a sword in the center of the courtyard, protecting it. In the Bible, we often see depictions of angels with swords, both used for battle and for protecting, but they're also seen to guide the lost, helping them find their way either physically or spiritually. Now, what would that remind me of? It's guiding light, the entity that's trying to protect us. This isn't the only time religious iconography is used within the game either. A handful of paintings around the hotel are parodies of religious artwork, or have been named with more
So I'm not really sure if I can do more than 12 minutes or so per video. So I'm gonna end it off there for this video. But I'm pretty sure after this one I'm gonna immediately post another one. There's no hold ups on this one. Alright. See you guys in the next one.